Hi there, Ron Stauffer with Leader Digital. I wanted to take just a minute and create a quick little video here to explain a concept that I talk about a lot in my business, and that is technology comes last. I'm reminded over and over again when I have phone calls with potential clients. A lot of times I'll get phone calls from people and they say, well, we want to build our website using this CMS, or we want to build a website that allows us to integrate with this CRM, for example. Or we just purchased a subscription to Salesforce, and so that's really important for us to make sure that we capture all of our lead data in Salesforce. And I understand why people do that, but a lot of times I feel like people get distracted, and I think of technology as like, ooh, shiny object. They look at all these promises and benefits that a particular technology, again, whether that's a software suite or a device or a computing platform or a web hosting platform, whatever that is, they look at that technology and say, ooh, that looks good. That sounds like it'll solve my problems. I think I'm going to sign up for that. And they're jumping the gun. They're going about it the wrong way. They're looking at the technology first and then saying, okay, now I've acquired this technology. Who can I find to help me figure out how to use it for my business? And that's totally putting the cart before the horse. That's the exact wrong way to do it. So a lot of times when I talk to people, especially when building websites, I'll ask a lot more questions about who they are, what they do, what's unique about them, how their business is structured, how many employees they have, what their business model is in terms of, are they a local business? Do they have remote staff? Do they have service techs out in the field? Lots and lots of different considerations to look at their company as a whole. And then I'll help them kind of work backwards and say, okay, knowing all that, how can we find the right technology to enable your company to work more profitably and be more efficient and be better and faster and stronger and hopefully cheaper? So a lot of times businesses think they know what they're doing, and because I think it's a lot of times it's either they're talking to a salesman who talks them into a particular technology, or typically the mistake that I see happening most often is they'll say, well, a friend recommended this, or I know somebody in an industry similar to mine and they swear by it. Those are not good reasons for you to sign up for, again, whether it's buying a whole fleet of certain devices or signing up for software subscriptions for all your employees and then trying to roll it out, in a company-wide deployment. It's more important to really stop and pause and think and ask yourself, what are we trying to do here? What are our business goals that this new technology, which we haven't decided on yet, can help enable us to do? And so I try to do that for my clients, especially when they're talking about websites or things like that. I'll ask them, what kind of sales platform are you using right now? Do you already have a CRM? Lots of questions about how they're doing business currently. And then I'll try to work backwards and figure out, okay, how can we start to slowly roll in some better technology or a new platform to help build their business? So that's just one of the many catchphrases that if you talk to me in person, or if you talk to me on the phone, or if you engage with me via email, I have a couple phrases that I really like to focus on. Data wins arguments is another. I'll talk about that in another video. Test everything, track everything. So today for this video, I just wanted to say technology comes last. And again, don't put the cart in front of the horse. Think about where it is that you want to end up and what success will look like, and then work backward from there to decide what is the right technology to help me get there. Don't start with a technology and then say, all right, now I have this subscription. How can I mold my business around this platform that I've now basically gotten married to, and try to fit everything in, all the pieces in the right slots, because it might not work and it might not fit. So think about technology, but think about it last. Think about how your business works, what your business goals are, and also, very importantly, who is going to use that technology. Another great example that I've seen many times is sometimes some guy on high in a company will say, we're going to buy this app and we're going to subscribe to this service and we're going to give all of our field employees access to use this out in the field. And they don't really stop to ask field workers, is that helpful? Is that important? Would it actually get help you get your job done better? A lot of times it actually turns out it makes their job more difficult because they're not used to using that technology, or they look at it as a nuisance. And it's very expensive to go down the path of deploying a technology halfway and then either not finalizing that or stopping and reversing course and going back to the old way of doing things. That creates all kinds of problems. It creates untold expense. It's very wasteful, and it's very confusing for people who are actually tasked with using technology. So hopefully that's just a helpful thought for you. If you're using a technology, figure out what you want it to do first and then work backwards for it. Technology comes last. Thanks for listening. I'm Ron Stauffer with Leader Digital.